What's up, good people? But now Riley back up in here with some more of this Black Media Mayhem. You see what's going on in the title and the thumbnail. You already see what's going on here. Blueface and Chrisean rock, two people in the music industry. Video leaked of them being in a physical altercation. You can already see it going on right there. You probably already seen it. The comments already came through with people calling him abusive. We're going to dead most of that. We're going to get into what he did wrong, but we're not about to lose sight of the simple fact that she was the aggressor. He was walking away. She was pulling on him. She was throwing the first punches. She was doing all of that. And we know how that is, and we know how that goes. We know that there is data that shows that women are more violent than men in relationships. Men in general are more violent than women, but when it comes to domestic relationships, there's data that shows that women are more violent than men. I'm going to put the link to that in the description and in the comment section so you can go check out that data for yourself. What I noticed in this, and this is one of the more important parts, I noticed that no men jumped in when he retaliated to her. And that's a good thing. And that's a good thing. Too often in these situations, when a woman is the aggressor and a woman is throwing the first punch, and we can clearly see her throwing the first punch. And then normally when the guy retaliates after spending an amount of time, trying to get away from the situation, trying to avoid the situation, trying to walk away from the situation, being followed by the situation. after all of that, after being struck multiple times, and we can see the evidence. I mean, the evidence is on the camera that he's clearly got hit, but we can also see that, he has scars on his face. Yeah, she was jacking him up a little bit. So normally when that happens and the guy finally retaliates, that's when everybody rushes in and bum rushes the guy. But where were people before that? And that's one other thing that I liked in this video. Another thing that I really liked in this video, when the guys jumped in, when they finally jumped in, it was two guys. We can see two guys on camera getting in between the two of them, but they weren't in between the two of them like they were trying to hold both of them back. No, they identified the aggressor and they tried to hold her back. They ultimately protected him from her. It's a sad state of affairs where we're at, where men have to be protected in that way, but they do, because if he would have snapped, he got it all on the line. It would have been bad for him. So I was glad those men jumped in and got in the way of that in the way that they should have. Identify the aggressor, get in there and pull the aggressor, the actual aggressor, back. That was what they did, and that was a good thing. So the men who intervened did right. But it does make me wonder, if it wasn't Blueface, if it wasn't a celebrity and he was just regular Joe Smo dude having problems with his girlfriend like that, with the very typical, hey, that's a female, bum rush would have came in and everybody would have tackled him. That is something we got to question. But overall, what they did was right. The way that they intervened and got in between them and held her back, that was actually right. Now, it's worth pointing out that in the pre-internet era, the pre-cell phone era, the era where everybody has a camera attached to the palm of their hand, that era, this would have leaked out a lot differently. We'd have been lucky if we would have got one photo, and the photo that would have leaked out in the tabloids would have been the photo when he was on top of her. That's what would have leaked out, and he would have been just looked at and viewed as an abusive monster, and that probably would have been the story that they would have ran with, and she would have been probably more inclined to play the victim in that situation. That's what it would have been in the pre-internet era. But fortunately, everybody has a camera attached to the palm of their hand, and it was all caught on tape. But just let that sink in, because the perception is that men are just ultimately violent and just beating the crap out of women. But like I said, we know the data on this. We know that most of the time is bidirectional, and we know that when it's unidirectional, meaning one person is being violent, the majority of that time, 2 out of 3 times, it's the woman being violent and the man not even striking back. We know the data on that. It's in the comment section. It's in the description. Check it out. But incidents like this, still to this day, still get men removed from their house, still get men arrested in their own home. Incidents like this. Now, that's a problem. But things are getting better because we got things on videotape, we have the data, we have all of that. But the perception is that men are the monsters. Men have that natural inclination to try to protect a woman from other men. And that's so we still fighting an uphill battle in that regard when it comes to men dealing with violent women. And that brings us right to the point where we could talk about the one thing he did wrong, the one thing he truly did wrong, even though I personally would not have thrown that punch because I don't do that. That ain't me. I'm not above, like Chris Rock said, I've never hit a woman, but I've shaken a woman. I fully support grabbing them and heaving them as far as you can throw them and then getting away from the situation. I support that one, but closed fist punch, that ain't me. So I would not have done that. However, I don't think he did nothing wrong there. I'm not going to tell him he did nothing wrong. My sensibilities, I just can't close my fist and punch a woman in the face. I can't say he did anything wrong there. The only thing he did absolutely positively 100% wrong is being with her to begin with. Like, I don't know. I don't keep up with that much of, modern, hip hop and all of that and everything going on. But I understand that he's a famous, successful dude in the industry. So, dude, you got better options. You got better options than that. You just do. You got the world at your disposal. The world is your oyster. Why you, even if she wasn't violent, that wasn't a good option. But she's violent and you're still with her. Like that's the only area where I got some critique, dude. You got options out of this world. You got options out of this world, and you fooling with her. That's a little ridiculous to me. That's a little ridiculous to me. So everything that we could talk about that's wrong with her, it really does make me question. Something got to be wrong with him too. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is that what happened. She was the aggressor. He was trying to avoid it. He's seen hitting her one time in response to her being the aggressor, and it all ended with the two of them on camera having somewhat of a lighthearted conversation. So they still cool. So keep that in mind with this whole protect black women thing, and men run in with the cape on protecting women in that situation. She's going to go right back to the dude. She's going to go right back to the dude. If this was a regular dude, if it wasn't Blueface and somebody would have just jumped in trying to save her in that situation, they would have jumped in and risked it all. They would have risked it all. And what would have happened? She would have went right back to the dude who was supposedly being violent with her, but truly she was being violent with him. They ride off together. They stay together. Let that sink in. Let that sink in with the whole protect black women discussion. Let all of that sink in. But that's all I got on this one. Thanks for tuning in for some more of this Black Media Mayhem. Let me know what you think in the comment section. With that said, we are out of here. Peace. We